So welcome everyone, and it's nice to see you. So we have a full moon in the sign of Leo coming up in a couple of days. So a lot of astrologers will say that we're already, in that energy because it's coming up in a couple of days. And I say a couple of days, it's Saturday, Sunday, depending on where you are. In EST time, it's going to be, I think, Sunday around 1:40. And so the full moon is usually, when you think it's full, it's reflective, it's a time of culmination. So it's shining a light on things. So it often is an opportunity to reveal something or different things that have been hovering at the surface of the conscious mind. And Leo is definitely all about sort of putting a light on it, because the energy is Leo is governed by the sun. And I'm going to share a dream. So when I was reviewing, the archetypal meaning of Leo, always symbolized by that lion, and the ruler is the sun. It's a very big energy, and it's the ruler of the fifth astrological house, the house of creativity, of procreation, in terms of our, moving along in what it represents in our time of our lives. It represents our teenage lives. So we've been through sort of the formation, starting to come into sort of more of who we are, and this individuality, which is definitely the sun type of energy. And our hormones are often off the charts in our teen years. So it's definitely a time of that connecting and finding out who we are and expressing that. And I don't really know how this dream is going to relate, but I'm going to share it with you anyway, because I had the dream early yesterday morning. So I don't know, sometimes when I have these so-called dreams, especially when it's in the early hours, I almost wonder if is it a dream, or is it that I'm actually picking up intuitive information? It's often one and the same, but it was just a very clear message. And the message was that I wasn't special. So,
yeah.
And so, when you think about Leo, I don't know what I think about Leo. I think, oh, that's a pretty, it's like look at me, who am I? I'm special kind of thing, right? But the message was really clear, and the message was that I wasn't special. And so I was like, I'm not special. And initially I was kind of like taken aback by that. What do you mean I'm not special? Don't we all have something special about us? But as it really, because it was just as I was waking up, and this message was very, very clear, it was almost like someone was speaking to me, I started to sense the liberation in that not being special. And what I mean by that is that it's like, well, if I'm not special, then I don't have to be anything, do I? I just am more am. Like all of what sort of special means. And in BodyTalk, we talk about specialness as not necessarily being a positive thing, because it's like, in a way, sometimes our attachment to illness or our attachment to a state of mind, I can't do that because I have this, or I can't do that because of this condition that I have. And so these ways of being special keep us separate and can hold us in not necessarily a pathological state, but a state that is limiting our most natural, and in the energy of Leo and the sun energy, our most natural and spontaneous expression of being able to be in the moment without the worries or concerns of how are others perceiving me. So that I'm sharing that dream and those insights with me because I guess it relates a little bit into, you know, on the one hand, I was thinking about this archetype, which can be really, you know, larger than life, and this is who I am, and it could be like an actor or a singer or a creator, and that is a very Leo. Those are Leo archetypes, and I mean that in the purest sense of Leo. But the other side of that sort of Leo energy is being able to be really heart-centered, and being heart-centered is being able to truly respond to whatever the moment is that's happening with us. You know, it's funny, it's like I think about this, but I also feel this. So if I'm able in any given situation to really go into my heart, and if you're able to go into your heart, it can really change a dynamic of an interaction and help to shift the potential of an outcome of that interaction. And that's another quality and attribute of the sun's archetypal energy, is to expand and broaden our potential. I think about the sun, and I've been thinking about the sun a lot because we're in the middle of winter here in the Northern Hemisphere. And our days are just starting to become longer. And so I've been looking at the sun, and I'm a gardener, and I love to plant my seeds and get my little seeds started and stuff. So I'm always watching the sun. And in traditional Chinese medicine, you know, the sun is looked also at potential, and us sort of moving towards the sun to express and grow into our potential. So the sun's energy is all about, you know, really tapping into and giving us the life force in order to do that. So I'm just sharing all of this because I feel that there may be something in some of the themes that come up in our session today. I'm just going to actually take a look at chat. I don't know if anyone would like to share anything about some of what I've just shared. So let's, oh, my pleasure, Sherry. It's awesome to see you as always. Thanks everyone for joining. So let's go in and see what Leo and the sun in this full moon wants to bring for broadening perhaps our potential, opening hearts, healing hearts. And if you'd like to take a few deep breaths and be in whatever place is most comfortable for you. And I'm just going to actually have a sip of my tea. I'm just going to take my glasses off. And yes, I think I mentioned in one of the last sessions that my dog ate my glasses, Dorothy. Anyway, I got new glasses, so hopefully she doesn't need these ones. She didn't hurt herself. She just took them out and played with them and destroyed them. Okay, so nice deep breaths, and then if with those breaths, if you know there's any area of tension, just allow your breath to move into that area, and as you release your breath, invite that tension to be released along with your breath. So I'm going into my Mindscape. For those of you that aren't familiar with Mindscape, it's an internal workshop. It's actually a BodyTalk course that teaches you how to tap into your intuition and more fully develop it. It's really a structure for accessing intuition. So I'm going to invite the energy of the group into that space and to show me what it wants to show me. So when I go into Mindscape and invite the group energy and this session in, a lot of warmth comes in. So the sun's energy is definitely coming in, and it is it's always not going to be what I expect. So that's great, keeps things interesting. So we've got the sun's energy coming in. in that warmth. And what's also coming in is an umbrella of the 11th astrological house. And so we are having this full moon in Leo, but we are in the sign right now of Aquarius, which governs the 11th house. And so in a way, you can look, well, not in a way, they are polarities. They are known, what's known as polarities. So you have the 11th house, which is group consciousness, and you have the 5th house, which is that individuality. So in a way that there can be a tension in that. I want to be an individual. I don't necessarily want to go along with what the group wants to go along with, but I also want to be part of it. So it's like that 11th house is coming up as an umbrella or like a theme to inform the first part of the session. And it's actually coming up in its quality of innovation. And so it's creativity as well. So we've got the creativity of Leo, and then we have this innovation and creativity coming up within the 11th house. And so what's also coming up is the energy of the gallbladder and the natural consciousness of the gallbladder. So in the BodyTalk system, Dr. John Veltheim attributed the meridians to each of the different 12 houses. And he did attribute the gallbladder meridian qualities to the 11th house. So when I talk about the gallbladder qualities and this natural consciousness balancing, it's really to refine the functions of, and really, I'm going to use an astrology term to exalt the conscious functions of the gallbladder within our body minds. So the gallbladder energy in the body, it governs our movement forward. Really big on decision making and catalysts for action. It can, really, it's all about movement forward. And in some ways, when I talk about that movement towards the sun, towards our potential, part of the role of the gallbladder within the wood element in traditional Chinese 5 elements, the wood is to push the tree to grow towards the sun. So the energy of the gallbladder and the liver pushes us to grow. So this gallbladder energy is very more yang, outward, masculine energy, as is the sun. And this expression is all about moving us forward and being able to make the decisions and put those decisions into action in our lives. So this is, again, the sort of exalted aspect that we are balancing, is really enhancing the qualities of the gallbladder in a natural conscious balancing and anchoring that into your heart for individuation. There's a further definition on this in your physical expression. So not only at the mental, emotional levels, but very much this movement and decision making. So when we think about decision making at the physical level, it can represent itself or express itself within chemical catalysts in our digestive system, in our simple movement of our muscles, and movement of our body. So it's really specifically related to the physical expression of that energy in our movement forward. And I'm going to parcel that. And then I have another item coming up here. Okay, so I'm going into section 3 of So again, for those that aren't familiar with BodyTalk, I'm reading from a protocol chart, or reading, I'm really intuiting what the priority is for the group, and then what we're linking those priorities to. So the next thing that's coming up is it's a fragmented matrix in BodyTalk terms. So it's like really an energy form that is kind of blocking an expression in some area. And so I'm just going to tune into what that is. It is the medial prefrontal cortex, so the center of your prefrontal cortex. And it's, I'd call it an invasive energy that we want to clear. And it's confusion from media. So it's media and the noise of media. And again, that's like a broader view media. So social media, news media, television, radio, anything, you know, podcasts, information, and doing really a clearing of that, how that is in a way distorting the optimal function of this area. And including just to really bring it into computers and dealing with technology as well, technology. So there is a definition of this, a frustration. And so how I'm perceiving this is this frustration it almost creates like a block, and it can inhibit effective thought and function. You know, really the medial cortex, prefrontal cortex, empathy for selves and others, our decision making, our executive function, our access to memories and information that is necessary for discernment and decision making, all within the prefrontal cortex. So this is helping to clarify the noise and remove the noise from that area. And then also, because it's prefrontal cortex, there's an association with the third eye chakra, and the third eye chakra being our insight, our access to wisdom and intuition. So there's also like a clearing from that relationship and area as well. And there's a definition on that of clarity. So that links to, as a parcel and then a package to your throat chakra. And more specifically in your throat chakra, the yang aspect, or more masculine aspect of your throat chakra, which is, you know, your outer communication. So it's like the power or solar plexus quality within your throat chakra, your confidence in your self-expression and expression outward. And so it's, again, not what I'm expecting, but it's defined by the emotion of anger. So being able to express anger. We're going to tap this first formula in. So if you would like to join me, you can put one hand over your right lower rib cage to represent the gallbladder energy. And you can join me in tapping over your head with deep breaths. So balancing this, and then over your heart, and then over your navel. So really tapping the three brains for awareness storage and digestion and integration of these balancing techniques. Okay, so the next formula is already coming in. And it is your spine. So the sun governs your whole spine. And, you know, when I think about this, like, yeah, I invite you to think about your spine. So, you know, the very essential roles that it plays within your body, mind, in the sense of flexibility and support and stability and, you know, your movement and really your core. So we're linking into your spine. And so the priority is hydration of your spine, and also hydration of the intrinsic muscles all along your spine. So these are the little muscles that help your spine to be mobile and flexible and move and support you in your movements. If you happen to have water nearby, you can do, you can dip something in it, or your baby finger, and you can just put a little bit of that either on your spine, if it's your lower spine, if that's what you can reach, or your upper spine, just to give that awareness to your innate wisdom of this hydration of your full spine. And there is a definition of joy. So water, the consciousness of water, the emotional association of water is joy. And when I say joy in relation to the spine, I can't help but think of Kundalini. So I'm sure some of you, and perhaps many of you, are familiar with the energy of Kundalini as a creative energy and healing energy that sits at the base of your spine, and when it is active, it moves up your spine. And one of the feelings, it's creative in that it can definitely turn on our creativity when it is moving, and it's also incredibly healing. And this is the interconnection between healing and creativity within that Kundalini energy. So it's coming in because it's come into my awareness in this balancing. So it's coming in as a resource satellite, the Kundalini energy, to this spinal hydration and definition of joy. And what's also coming up here is that when you think or feel what joy is, or you see joy in, say, your child or grandchild, or for me, it's my dog, because she just brings me so much joy because she just is filled with joy. Bringing that sense of joy, how would that feel if it were in your spine? Like, how would that joy feel if it were in your spine? And how would that influence your movement and your mobility and creativity in your movement? So I'm just inviting that awareness into this balancing. So this is now linking into two different areas. One is actually moving up from the base of your spine, or from the top of your spine, into your brain stem and your autonomic nervous system. And the other is linking into the nervous system of your heart, so the heart brain. So I guess technically, I would have two parallel formulas running from this link from the hydration of your spine through your nervous system, one into your brainstem, into the autonomic nervous system control center, and the other into your heart's nervous system. And so the priority of both is to enhance circulation. Enhancing circulation is a plug-in of blood, of nerve supply, of lymph supply, also of all the energy bodies, of meridian flow, chakra flow. I could go into like nadis and consciousness. So what are the consciousness aspects, and really bringing that awareness through that circulation in both of these areas within the nerves and nervous system. And the definition within this is awareness. And so around this circulation of these areas, there is a definition of the support of earth and the earth element. Dorothy's saying hi to everybody. So I'm just going to find out if there's anything else about this. So the circulation to the autonomic nervous system center in the brainstem is just going to continue to run for the next 15 minutes. And then I'm going to carry on from the heart's nervous system and linking from the heart's nervous system into the tissues and the muscles of the heart. And so within the muscles of the heart, I'm going into the myocardial cells, the muscle heart cells. And I'm going even more specific into the mitochondria, which are the energy production centers of all cells in our muscle cells, because the muscles require so much energy. They tend to have a lot more mitochondria than many other cells in our body because of the functions that they have. And so when I go into the mitochondria and the energy production centers, what is coming in is the sun's energy. And so anytime the sun comes in a formula, its role is to energize the function and revitalize the function of that area. And so here we have already a very sort of vital, energizing area of your body in your heart's muscle cells, right into the mitochondria, and bringing in this sun energy for a revitalization. And so it's like, that's the first part. Then within this, there is this, it's almost like a burning out. So of what's not needed. It's like, you know, I always think of cleansing, or I most often think of cleansing through, say, the lymph system or the detoxification system. But the sun's energy has this purification quality to it. And that there's something about like ancestral heritage in really on the maternal side, coming in here for helping to clear out and I say burn out. So the sun's energy is cleaning through this clearing to further revitalize. And it's like I put my hands up to my ears because I can feel this. I didn't know that the mitochondria had 5 senses, but it's like the pathways, the distortions, the memories of your heart, and how emotionally charged memories will impact the cellular and mitochondrial function. And so that's how it's coming up, to be able to actually, the sun's energy is helping to synthesize and balance the emotional charges that impact the vitality and the function of energy production in your heart muscles. Okay. And so there is a further link, but still within your heart, to this consciousness of awareness. And so it's your awareness, but it's awareness absent of time. That it, like, how time will impact our perception of the moment, because it's like the past and the future pulling at us. And so this is shifting and bringing in awareness of no time, which in some ways could correlate to that awareness of all. And so it's a very expansive balancing within the energy and awareness of the heart, and then how the heart communicates that throughout your whole body mind. So we are going to tap this last formula in, and we're actually going to hold the spine. So as opposed to doing the hydration technique, the priority, the hand positions. So when I say hold your spine, you can hold it in your mind, in your awareness. So just bringing your body or your attention to your spine. You could even imagine, if you'd like, whether with your eyes closed or open, that you are in your spine, bringing your awareness right into your spine, and the hydration and joy within your spine and those little muscles that support your spine, and tapping this in with deep breaths. And you know, when you breathe, your breath can really elongate your spine just through that breathing cycle, opening the spine up and shifting the spine back again. So whatever the awareness is that you wish to bring to this balancing, so there's a bit of a download happening. So I'm just going to invite you to take it again, a couple deep breaths. I will I will share that screen again. For those that I think I showed it a little bit early, actually, just to show, oops, that's not what I meant to do. There it is. For those that didn't actually have a chance to, part of the courage needed for full self-expression in art or play is the ability to be criticized by others when what is created isn't accepted by them. Overcoming the risk of criticism and creating anyway. That is personally sincere is the challenge of the fifth house. So this is, it's your artistic self-expression and art and play. So as I was tapping that last formula out, what I was seeing was I could see veils. First, they were flowing around and then they were just falling away. I don't know what that means. I could do my own interpretation, but I'm just sharing that with you. You know, I guess veils are what they can cover us up. They can, put a veil between us and something else. So perhaps it's about, opening clarity up and connection. Oh, somebody's a Leo. Oh, happy. Oh, no, well, it's not your birthday, is it? But it will be, Tony. So thank you. You'll have to share a little bit more about, I don't know how on I am with this. When I'm talking about any kind of archetype within these, it's really the purest form. So, I am a Capricorn, you are a Leo. We have part of those qualities, but of course we have many other aspects and qualities. So it's really looking at more of the pure form and archetypal story of those for balancing. Okay, so we're going to go into the next part of the session. Okay, so it's, when we're doing BodyTalk courses, one of the things that we'll do prior to practicing is we'll actually ask permission to play. Do I have permission to play? But that's actually what's coming up is the permission to play, and not for me to play, for everybody to play. So it's like a permission to play. And, because we often have to be so serious in life. And it's, there's their fear of judgment and criticism and all these things, and usually with our own selves, more so than what's actually happening around us. So that is what is coming up, is a permission to play. And I'm just going to see if that's actually a formula that wants to come out of that. It's taking me into an active memory balancing. And it is, it takes me into a fear of being exposed. And I'm not getting more details on that. So, that would be because those details are each of your own details, right? Is it exposed, vulnerable? Is it emotionally exposed? Whatever that is for you. But it's that fear of exposure in play. It could be sexuality for that matter. It's like that's part of what's sort of coming into the realm in that playfulness. And, playful, Leos are notoriously flirty, right? Like, again, with the archetype. And so that flirty is innuendo, like all these different beliefs that can inhibit that playfulness and the safety within that. So that is, that's what's coming in to help to shift that permissions to play. I'm just going to find out if there's anything else. No. So you can do the active memory technique if you'd like, but it's not coming up as a hand position priority. So we're just going to tap this in. I'm going to ask that you take deep breaths, and within your own mind, or if you'd like to say it out loud to yourself, that's fine too. But is tapping in emotionally to any to whatever fear comes up when I say this fear of exposure, of whatever that means for you, and just really tapping into it and breathing it in and breathing it out to help to clear and balance this permission to play. Years ago, I was at a Greenpeace, was it? Yeah, it was, no, it was an Amnesty International Business and Human Rights Conference. And the speaker was the Canadian head of Greenpeace at the time. And one of the things he said always stayed with me. If what out there is crazy, or if what out there is normal, call me crazy. And I just love that, because it's just so interesting, the judgments we'll put on things. And as I was tapping that in, that's part of what was bubbling up for me, is like, playfulness and just, that individuality and self-expression and all the social judgments and that kind of thing that can come with that, right? So yeah, let it go. I think that's the session, but I'll just tap in to make sure. So that is our session for today. So thank you all for bringing your energy and vitality to the group today.